Good morning. In this debate, we're going to talk about climate change. Even though the majority of the scientists believe that global warming is real and man-made, the general public is more skeptical. Much of the population believes that there is strong evidence in this air warming, but there are still many who say that it is not evidence of global warming, and many others still fail to choose a side. Delegates in favor? Delegates against? Delegates, the floor is open. Is there any motion? Delegate April?
Motion of procedure.
Established.
Motion of procedure to open a topic.
The delegate April wants to open a topic. Does anyone second the motion? The delegate Lisandro seconds the motion. Votes in favor? Votes against? The motion clearly passed. Delegates, you can start now. Delegate April.
From a point of view, one of the reasons why climate change is real is because we experiment colder winters. As never before, temperatures dropped dramatically, and there was much more intense and unusual snowfalls in some states of the United States. Therefore, many people say and believe that the climate change is a first. A scientist named Ada Sobel wrote in his article for the magazine of CNN this quote: "Currently, records of temperature rises have been exceeded many more times than records of low temperatures." He also noticed that some scientists paradoxically believe that global warming can produce much stronger storms due to the weakening of the rapid wind currents that what they do is block the mass air of polar air southward by cooling the U.S.
Delegate Lucia.
I agree with Delegate April. When the surface temperature warms up, melting of glacier ice, sea ice, and polar ice shelves occurs. When this happens, the amount of water that flows into the ocean around the world increases and leads to sea levels rising dramatically, endangering many series that are below sea level. Scientists have speculated that if ice melts at this rate, ice in Antarctica, Greenland, and Arctic could raise sea levels more than 20 meters by 2021.
Delegate Lisandra.
I'm agree with some extent, but some studies claim that the Arctic ice had actually increased 29% over the previous year, so now it will be the global cooling. At first glance, the rise in sea ice seems to be a powerful refutation of the terrifying scenario presented by leading climate scientists, since it is the sinking ice that is causing the dangerous rise in sea level.
Delegate April.
With all due respect, Lisandro, that the sea rises because ice sinks every year at the North Pole is no reason to this to be a trend. The amount of ice in the North Pole varies from year to year. Between 1979 and 2014, the average ice sheet in January has decreased 15.5% million square kilometers to 13.7 million square kilometers. The only reason why the year of 2013 looked better was because it has improved based on 2012, which was the year of the worst records.
Delegate Lucia.
I'd like to add something. Desertification, raising ocean temperatures, as well as deforestation, are contributing to the disastrous and irreversible changes that are occurring in the habitat to endanger several species, which could soon become extinct. Thank you.
Delegate Martin.
According to what Lucia and April has just said, I agree with them in just some aspects, but I need to be clear in in my opinion, that the climate change is just emerging and there is enough time to look for a solution in the next years. But how we can know that climate change is true? For example, there is economic war between China and United States, which means that they work every day in factories and in companies where they use a lot of natural resources. Imagine if you decide to stop this production in China and in the United States. The population and a lot of people will lose their jobs, which means that it will also have an economic crisis. So I think that climate change is just an invention from the Chinese. And according with the United Nations, there are objectives that must be done for the next 12 years. Okay, and for example, one of the main objectives of the United States is to eradicate the poverty around the world. If we just focus in the climate change and we stop producing in countries like United States and in China, the poverty will increase. So as a society, we won't be doing anything. Thank you.
Delegate Martin.
Thank you. In my opinion, climate change is a problem that as humans we don't know if it is true or not. And it's important to say that the increasing of temperature is not only because of the human activities and the economic activities that the companies and factories have been making in the last years. It's also because of the earth. The earth is also in constant change, which means that in the next years the temperature of the world will be increasing because the earth, as I already said, is always changing. So the conditions of the atmosphere are not being different because only the humans are also because of the conditions of the earth.
To conclude on the part of conventional impact studies, it gives us a plausible range of climate change, which make it natural in scenarios. As we can see, the climate change, environment, health, and biodiversity is a very debatable issue in our society. The growing risk of vulnerability to climate change is widely discussed in the scientific and political atmosphere. Since everyone has a different point of view if it exists or not this problem. But we can know one thing for sure, that humans have been neglecting our planet a lot, and we don't see the consequences that these actions can bring to our planet.